Okay, so raise your hand if you own a smartphone. Okay, keep it raised if you install apps on that smartphone. If the apps you install use either mob clicks or data flurry analytics services. If these analytics services have leaked data about you to the NSA through passive and strategic surveillance of fiber optic hubs around the world. You should all probably have your hands up, because geosurveillance is pervasive, and geosurveillance is this idea of surveillance of where we are. Because every time you swipe your debit card, every time you use your phone, you connect to a Wi-Fi network, you ride the bus, the SkyTrain, or even cross the Portman Bridge, your location is being tracked. And this is increasingly becoming the case as we constantly try to cram a computer into anything we possibly can. And so what I wanted to ask for my honors thesis was, what are the technical mechanisms of geosurveillance, and why do they matter? And when I conceptualize the mechanisms of geosurveillance, what I'm thinking of are the passive automated actors that produce and make known geospatial data sets. And to me, these have three parts. There's geolocation, so finding out where you are. There's unique identification, so finding out who you are, such that where you are can be tracked over time. And then what I think of as a surveillance medium, so some way for where you are and who you are to become known to someone else. And when you start to dig into these and you start to unravel all the options you have available, it gets a little bit creepy. This is by no means a complete list, but it shows you how robust geosurveillance can be. Because for example, if you were to disable the location-based services on your phone to try and get some privacy so that apps can't follow you around, well, if you grant them a Wi-Fi permission, they can get your location just as easily and pretty much instantly down to about 10 meters. If you use a VPN or a proxy to try and hide who you are, browser fingerprinting can undo that again in a couple of seconds. And no matter how much you secure your device, no matter how much antivirus you install on it, if you're not encrypting the data as it travels across the internet, then it doesn't matter if it's the NSA or a guy on your Wi-Fi, they can still collect that data about you, as happened with those analytics services. And so yes, mechanism matters, because geosurveillance mechanisms are ubiquitous. They're in every app you use, every website you visit, even the cities in which you walk and drive. They're also complex, because most people don't realize that a Wi-Fi permission can actually reveal exactly where you are. And they're opaque, because you can use these apps and you can walk in these cities for decades and never actually know what's going on. But I don't want to make it seem like these just appeared out of nowhere, because often we buy into these mechanisms. Usually the story goes like this. First, a protocol or a feature comes out, then we all adopt it, and then we learn that it either has been or could be used to surveil us. And accelerometers fit this story pretty well, because first accelerometers were introduced in the iPhone, I think, and then now we expect an accelerometer to be in any phone that we buy, really. But only after that expectation was made did we realize that accelerometers all have a unique fingerprint in and of themselves. They all think down is a slightly different direction, which means the website you visit on your phone can actually query your accelerometer without ever telling you to uniquely identify your phone to track you as you go across the internet. But that being said, I think we can also buy out of these mechanisms, and the Tor browser is a good example of this, because what it does is it avoids geolocation by bouncing your connection across the globe. It avoids unique identification by having all of its users share the exact same fingerprint. And it sort of confines the surveillance medium by disabling various features to secure the browser, as well as encrypting the traffic so it can't be siphoned up by NSA or whoever it is. And so what I want to end with is a quote from Donna Haraway's CYBORG manifesto, when she says that we have all been injured profoundly, but we require regeneration, not rebirth. And I think this sort of applies here too, because we can't be reborn into a world without cell phones. And it's not quite so simple to just opt out. It's a little bit too late for that. So going forward, we need to regenerate. We need to either embrace and actually learn to control the technologies we're buying into, or else leave them to control us. Thank you.